there. In this Firestop coffee break training, I want to share some information about L ratings. Now, we've already talked about the fact that F ratings and sometimes T ratings are going to be code requirements. Well, the L ratings are occasionally code requirements as well. Let me explain. But first, let's be clear that this is only a concern when your project has smoke barriers. If it doesn't, then you can just continue with business as usual. If it does, there's one more step that you need to pay attention to. Somebody on the entire build team needs to look at the smoke barriers and then look at the firestop details. Someone needs to ensure that the combination of all the different penetrations in that smoke barrier are capable of meeting the requirements of the code. Now, don't be surprised if this isn't done on your projects, because this is one more code section that's often overlooked. If you're an estimator or if you're dealing with contracts, I would highly suggest that you put a line in your contract saying that you are not responsible for evaluating smoke barriers for code compliance. Because there's so much to it and one trade can't be responsible. But if you put a line like that in your contract, then I would assume that you would be protected. Now, please know that this is not intended to be legal advice. I'm not a lawyer, but I would highly encourage you to invite your lawyer to this training and then have a conversation about what that line in your contracts should look like in order for you to exclude that from your purview. If you're a general contractor, an inspector, or a consultant, however, I would highly encourage you to take a long, hard look at the codes and be sure that your teams are getting this right. If you're legal counsel, I would encourage you to educate your teams on this topic as well. This is a code requirement, and it is not the responsibility of the building official to catch the builder on this. It's the responsibility of the build team and the design team to get this right. And if you're a spec writer, yeah, you kind of get the picture, right? You need to do something to protect yourself as well. So you need to be able to connect the dots here. First, you need to understand the standards and how they relate to the codes. Then you need to be able to review the design of the project and compare that with your firestop submittals to be sure that they can meet the requirements of the designs and the codes. So look at your plans and identify any smoke barriers. Then walk those walls in the field and look at the penetrations. Next, you need to grab your firestop submittals. And step one is going to be to make sure that all of those systems have L ratings on them. And then you can run the calculations to be sure that the totals of all the penetrations don't exceed what the code allows. So if your head is spinning right now, don't worry, that's normal. The first time that you hear this, and then also the first time that you walk through a project trying to evaluate this.